If you're contemplating selling your home, here's what's changing August 1st.
Hello, welcome to the Hatch Homes Group's market update, our weekly update. Today you got Johnny and Michelle again. And if you watch our channel regularly, you've probably heard that there are some changes coming up in real estate as of August 1st, and that's just right around the corner. Last week we talked about what it means for buyers, and this week we're going to talk a little bit about what it means for sellers in a very clear, concise way, because there's a lot to talk about. And I think that mainly it's just reflecting the way that we do our business, all in the name of transparency for everybody involved in the transaction. So the first main thing that sellers are going to need to know is about the contract changes.
Yeah, so the listing contract is going to change a little bit. Before, it had a section in there for what the seller's agent was going to be charging for a fee, and it had another section for if the seller was open to paying the buyer's agent compensation, and it kind of grouped those together if they were, and talked about what that split would be. So now it is only going to have the seller's agent's fee negotiated in there. That, again, you can of course negotiate with whoever the agent is selling your house, and there will be no mention of the buyer's agent fee in there. So the buyer's agent compensation will be a whole separate thing that is now going to be negotiated through the sales contract instead of being mentioned in the listing agreement.
Yeah, like when you receive an offer, you're going to see probably some extra paperwork with it, like an added addendum that talks about any concessions the seller is going to make for the buyers. And that could be their closing costs, that could be the buyer agent compensation, or anything else. There's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways that this can go about.
Yeah.
And I think that the main thing here is that negotiations are going to just look a lot different. And it's going to open up a conversation with your agent and sellers and buyers that we haven't really had before. And sometimes it might feel awkward because change is hard. And also talking about money is awkward sometimes. So it's like this opens up something that's a little bit different. But I think that the most important thing right with this is knowing what the options are and knowing that you can negotiate the compensation for the agents involved, but also that it could be a upfront conversation you have when your agent comes to your house the first day to sign the contracts. You're going to be talking about what you're willing as a seller and able to provide for the buyer agent compensation, because at the end of the day, you want an agent that's going to be representing the buyer as well as your own agent, right? Like if you're a seller, you want your agent to advocate for you. Whereas if we bring buyers, you want their agent to represent them. And so we're going to be talking about those roles in depth when we meet with you, and also what it could mean as far as negotiating compensations involved and your percentage that you pay.
Yeah, going over a lot of the different scenarios that could come up. We could go over the scenarios of if there was a buyer's agent involved. We can go over the scenarios that if there's not a buyer's agent involved, if the buyer is an unrepresented party, and we can talk about the risks and pros of all those different outcomes and go over different, net sheets of what you would net in all these different scenarios. And as we get offers on your property, go through those as well and talk about what they really mean. And so it's just going to be a lot more conversations with your agent, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's totally okay. I think at the end of the day, the costs involved are not going to change that much for sellers, but the conversations around it will change, and you'll see more paperwork, basically. But I think the most important thing is reach out to us, set an appointment so we can talk about it, and also if you want to list your home, what it's going to look like. We're really excited for these changes because at the end of the day, it's protecting everybody because it's making it more transparent and honest with the buyers and sellers out there in the world. So reach out to us, set up an appointment. We'd love to talk to you about it. Let us know if you have questions, and don't forget to like and subscribe.